day, everyone. Before we start, let me introduce myself. I am Claudine, the first reporter. Our task for today is to report a closer look on educational system of selected countries of the world, which included the education in China, education in Australia, education in Japan. Our first discussion is all about the basic education in Australia. Why country of Australia is good in terms of their educational system? Australian schools do more than just educate students. They prepare them for life, developing communication skills, self-discipline, and respect for themselves. Schools offer a broad curriculum in the key learning areas: English, mathematics, studies of society, and the environmental science, art, language other than English, and technology, health, and psychological educational system. They also believe strongly in the benefits of a rounded education, including the teamwork, self-expressions, and personal development that happen outside the classroom. Australia is fast becoming a preferred destination in terms of education among Indian students. Currently, this land of kangaroos attracts the third largest number of international students in English-speaking world after the US and the UK. In some countries, Australia is the first choice of study destination. Australia offers an educational experience that makes a real difference. It provides a unique kind of education and learning style that encourage one to be innovative, creative, and think independently. Graduates from Australia are very successful in finding jobs and have prominent position worldwide. Additionally, they are readily accepted for postgraduate study of leading international universities. Australian qualifications framework are recognized by employers and leading education institutions in many countries around the world. Moreover, most courses are training undertaken by international students in Australia are covered by Australian qualifications framework. Australian qualifications framework it is a system of learning which is authorized by Australian government. Australia, being comparatively new in terms of attracting foreign students, offer more scholarship opportunities compared to the United States and the UK. Education is the process of which a person gains knowledge. It is considered as one of the essential needs for human survival. That is why countries' futures depend on educating its people. The financial or economical issues and traditions lead countries to different educational routes. Although Australia and Philippines may have some similarities, both countries' education system, it differ in many ways. Now let's proceed to primary and secondary education. For primary and secondary education, government schools educate approximately 60% of Australian students, with approximately 40% in non-government public, and student fees are subsidized through a student loan program where payment becomes due when debtors reach a certain income level. Australia adopts a national system of qualification encompassing higher education, vocational education, and training and school-based education. For primary and secondary school, a national Australian curriculum has been progressively developed and implemented since 2010. School education is similar across all of Australia with minor variations between states and territories. School education, primary, secondary, is a compulsory for between the age of 6 and 12, year 1 to 9 or 10. School education is 13 years and divided into primary school, secondary school, senior secondary, tertiary school. Primary school runs for 8 years starting at kindergarten or preparatory through to year 6 or 7. Secondary school runs for 3 or 4 years from 7 years to 10 years. Senior secondary school run for 3 years, year 11 and 12. Tertiary education includes both higher education, including universities and vocational educations and training, runs for 3 years to 6 years. Year 15. Higher education. Higher education courses can be taken by students to earn advanced degree and continue their studies in Australia. There are 3 main types of higher educations that lead to bachelor, master, and doctoral degrees. Teaching at universities normally take place in large group lectures and small group tutorial. An Australian vocational education training qualification can provide a pathway to entering the workforce of university. There are many vocational training courses in increase such as information technology, business, services, art and media, tourism and hospitality, childcare, transport and logistic, construction, mining, manufacturing, and rural industries. Pathway to program. There are also a number of pathway programs to higher educations for international students, including foundation studies and English language preparation program to ensure students receive the extra support and assistance they need to. China-owned education system has similar.
Good afternoon, each and everyone. I am Ms. Second Reporter. I'm Mr. Muhammad Amin, Education in China. So the most populous country of the world is China, with over 200 million students attending in schools. Taught by over 9 million teachers in public elementary schools, junior and senior high schools. It is the largest educational system of the world. Wang 1996 and Han Zhujian 1996. The educational system in China is very centralized. The core syllabi are written by the scientists and professors hired by the National Educational Commission. The subject matters and instructional contents are uniform for all. The first 6 years in school make up the primary grades, which is devoted to development cognitive skills, and this is followed by another 6 years in high school. The size ranges from 40 to 60 students, and the students have to cover all topics in order to pass national examination. The quality and the reputation of the schools will depend on the number of students passing the examination. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ana Maria Embalolong, BPE 2. I'm the third reporter, and now I'm going to report about the education system in Japan. Education is without a doubt a fundamental pillar of growth for human being all around the world. Every country has its own method in teaching and raising children in order to become part of the unique culture that is their own. And the Japanese education system is no different. Japanese kids are faced less with a difficult testing system that comes about high school into university. That being said, let's take a closer look at what students are up to in Japan. The junior high school students studying for high school entrance exam, and they absolutely disappeared during these times. Many students began studying for this exam during their second year of junior high school, which meant about 2 years of studying just to get into the high school they sought after. How Japanese education system works? Schools is typically divided into 5 cycles. These are nursery school from 3 to 6 years old, elementary school from 6 to 12 years old, middle school from 12 to 15 years old, high school from 15 to 18 years old, vocational school, and general with a duration of 2 to 4 years. Let me differentiate the United States to Japan's educational system. The United States typically taught this and differ depending on state and school district. Divides education into preschool, 3 to 5 years old, kindergarten 5 to 6 years old, elementary school, middle, junior high school, and to college, universities, vocational school, with middle school being 2 years and high school being 4 years. So as we can see, the main difference I found interesting between Japanese and American elementary schools was the heavier emphasis on morals and ethics education in Japan. Standard subjects such as mathematics, science, music, and physical education are of course taught. But morals is a separate subject, complete with textbook and allocated time. It's less of a time to state what kids should or shouldn't do, but rather more of a period to facilitate discussion on moral dilemmas. How students would react to a given situation. There were never wrong or right answers. Just time to talk about the black, white, and gray areas just like real life. School is compulsory until 15 years of age. However, 99% of middle school graduates enroll in high school to continue their studies. Those enrolled in public schools do not pay registration or school material fees. Families pay secondary costs such as meals and school trips. Whereas, in the US, there has been a heavy emphasis on graduating high school and moving on to an academic university in Japan. It's less taboo to enroll in institutes specializing in agriculture, industrial, or technical training. Next is the exam in Japan. Testing, specifically entrance exam, is its own world in Japan. Students wishing to move up into junior high school, high schools, or universities must pass grueling entrance exam. So grueling in fact that their dumb exam hell. These tests take an endless number of sleepless nights to study for, with students often sitting in cram school after regular classes in order to try and get a leg up on the test. University is just a difficult. Selection requirements are often so difficult that only about 56% of students pass on their first try. Those fail become ronin or samurai without a master and must study for an entire year on their own in order to try for next year's test. Times, however, have been changing as foreign companies enter Japan and bring in their own work cultures and strict tests. Results only standard is slowly morphing. Western culture, for example, looks at skills, experience, and personality on top of good schools. As their business enters Japanese society, the Japanese education system evolves. The life at school of Japan student. School life is packed. Students attend classes from Monday to Friday, with additional half days every 2 Saturdays. On top of that, many students choose to attend JUCO or cram school after school classes. In order to study for entrance exam or get a better handle on a specific subjects like English, those who don't attend JUCO participate in after-school clubs and activities such as baseball, volleyball, kendo, or any number of sports. There are no janitors in the Japanese schools. Students divide into teams to tackle all manners of keeping their school clean. Some mop the floors or team up with rugs and run across the floors in lines. Some wipe the chalkboards, some sweep, and others weed the gardens. It's an amazing team building activity. Having the kids keep each other accountable for their own school and all working together to get it done. I found it a special rewarding activity in my schools. Running across floors, pushing rugs, and sweating through my work clothes. It helped me build a bond with my kids and let me see a less serious side of how they interacted with each other. Then, there are huge festivals. On top of all this, kids prepare for sports festival, culture festivals, exhibitions, plays, and song celebrations. All of these practice times are usually done on the students' own time after school, so you can see how this all comes together to make a packed schedule. It's no wonder that around the world, the Japanese education system is recognized as one of the best. In addition to academic schools, also seek to teach morals to the young and an effort to raise well-rounded, good human beings while working in the school system. I saw many things that I wish could be implemented into the American school system. Not everything is perfect, and thought Japan boasts a solid educational system. It can revolve to narrowly around school and tests. This is known as Gakuriki Shakai, competition between students to enter high school and universities is so high that kids sometimes spend a majority of their time studying in order to get on the right track for the right school. Sometimes students break down, burn out, and drop out. Some face bullying for not getting into good schools. Some even withdraw from society to tax, mentally face the hurdles of life and education. Nowadays, though much is being done in the way of reshaping a school system that puts less pressures on students.